Good evening, Melanin Project. This is your Melanin Queen. I am here today to have that hard talk with you all. You know that talk that nobody wants to sit down and discuss. Nobody want to put it in reality. No one wants to write it down. No one wants to even think about it. You know that talk I'm talking about. That talk and those wishes, AD, after demise. That is not a discussion families have. It is not an easy discussion that families have. And those that have had those talks, I salute you. It took me 45 years to decide, okay, it is time for me to get serious and write out what I need to be done when I leave here. So I'm going to just kind of give you guys a guide because I didn't really know where to start. It was sort of like, oh, where do I start with something like this? You don't want to, go too deep into it, but then you do want to go deep into it. So I'm going to just give you an outline of what I did, give you some examples on what you can say, how you can say it, and so on and so forth. So the basic general format that I saw, it was um, funeral arrangements, personal belongings, medical decisions, beyond the physical, um, um, financial accounts, and people for support. And then I threw in the social media. So we start off with point number one, and that is um, funeral arrangements. A lot of us may want to be cremated. Some may want an actual funeral, long drawn out funeral. Some wants to be buried. And whatever that is, whatever you desire, or the people who will be in charge of that, you make it clear to them. I want a funeral. I want to be dressed in this. I want this music to play. I want these people to be in charge of this. I want so on and so forth, so on. I want the funeral to be this long or this lengthy, or, so on and so forth. Don't allow anything to go unpinpointed, because your family will not be thinking in that moment. They will not be trying to figure out what my father or my mother or my daughter, would want. So make sure you make it clear. If you don't want to have a funeral and you just want them to celebrate your life and just gather around with immediate family, put that in your letter. Put that in a legal document that is notarized, that this is what I want. I want to be cremated. I want you to keep my ashes. I want you to spread my ashes. Be specific on what you want them to do with your ashes. If you want them to keep them, tell them where you place me here. This is where I want to be. I want to be in everybody's room, or I want to be in the living room on the mantle. I want to, or if you want your ashes, spread them in the water, spread them, at the cemetery, so on and so forth. Put details so that your loved ones won't have to think on their own, because again, at that moment, they will not be able to think on their own. It's going to be a lot for them. Um, and then we move on to like personal belongings and whatever your assets are. You have children, if you have a partner, if you have sisters, brothers, if your mother is still alive, your father is still alive, whomever you want a certain thing to go to, make sure you put those names. Say, for instance, you have diamonds. I want this to go to my sister so and so. or this particular diamond I want to go to my sister so and so, and the other sister can have these. you know, she can have my necklaces, or my furniture, or whatever. Don't allow your siblings or your people that you leave behind to figure out who gets what, and then because this person didn't get that, they feel this kind of way, and then it brings the family like this. That's where most families, because they're fighting over the materialistic things. So if you have that all written out, even if you say, hey, look, donate all my stuff, none of y'all can have it, because I don't want that to bring any favoritism or any fights or anything as such. If you have monies saved in the safe, you prioritize who gets this amount and that amount, split it between y'all two. Just make it so plain that nobody has to think about anything other than what that paper, what your wishes ask for. Then it goes on to medical decisions. And the medical decision part is if, of course, you are no longer coherent, you need to be resuscitated, or you're a vegetable, or you can't think for yourself, or you can't write, or you can't co-sign or sign for yourself. You have that particular person or persons to make those decisions for you. Make sure you let them know if you want to be resuscitated. You let them know, hey, I want to be resuscitated one time. That's it. Don't do no more harm to my body. If you want to be resuscitated 6 times, make sure you detail it step by step what your desires are, because they are so important. If you don't want to live like a vegetable, put that down. If you don't want to live in a nursing home, put that down. If you want a demise at home, put that down. You have to make sure that everybody knows and everybody is on one accord. That's why you write this out now. You talk to your loved ones and you all are on one accord. You get it signed, notarized, and that's what should happen once it things happen, when the transitioning has happened. If you want to donate organs, make sure you have that set. If you don't, no. If you do, hey, this is what I want to do. In particular, you can choose, if you can choose, hey, I only want my organs to go to young people, someone that is going to make sure that it's taken care of, or older people, or whatever, however it works out. Just make sure you have that. Even if that's not an option, make sure you have that just in case it's an option. And then, so we're going to skip the beyond the physical for a moment, and go into the financial accounts. So many of us, we have several accounts. Money just probably spread it around. We have maybe IRAs or stocks and bonds and passwords to this and account numbers to that. Make sure you write life insurance. Make sure you write down all of your bank account informations. Don't allow your money to go to the government or to whoever it goes to. This little microphone is great. Don't allow your monies to go to whomever it goes to after demise. Make sure your family gets it. Your life insurance policy numbers, your bank account numbers, your IRA numbers, your stock numbers, your whatever, however many banks you may have. Make sure you have all that information written down. That portion will only go to your immediate, which is if it's your kids, if it's your kids, that's who that portion goes to. You don't give everybody your account number. Don't do that. Sometimes we have all our information in our phone. Make sure we leave passwords to our phones. Make sure you tell them where to find this information at. Some of us have notes and we write notes all the time in our phones. Make sure you write all of that out and have all your financial things in order. I threw in the social media passwords due to the fact that some of us want our accounts deleted because it's just too many memories, too many, pop-ups come up. It is just too much. Could be too much for the kids or whoever you leave, your mate, your whatever after demise. It may just be too much for them. So make sure you leave all your social media passwords so they can be deleted. At that point, you leave it up to that person to, hey, keep it going or deactivate. Um, um, and then eventually, once things kind of die down, you could decide that part. When things die down, you're not going to be thinking about social media when your loved one passes. So that's last on the list. And then you have your people for support. So say, you leave your kids, and so you have adult kids or so on and so forth. So you'll have your adult kids, but then you'll have a support person for those kids. It could be 1, it can be 10, it can be 6, it can be 2. You always should have people that will support and help assist, especially when you have children, and even if you have a mate, because your mate is going to be distraught as well. But they most likely can pull it together faster than a child losing a parent can. So always have your support people written down. Like, hey, this is who you can call to help guide you through this, to help you hold your hand through the arrangements, or so on and so forth. Last but not least, for me, I think it's very important to write an individual letter to whomever it is you're leaving behind, meaning your immediate family, your husband, your wife, your children, your grandchildren, so on and so forth. Your immediate family. Write them an individual paragraph just stating, hey, this is what I want. Remember this, remember that. And the most important thing is remember to stay connected. Reiterate that throughout the letters, throughout all of the letters. Stick together. Never fall apart over a piece of jewelry, a paper that will not go with you when you leave here, meaning money, a house. Don't let nothing come between the bond and what the memories and so on and so forth that you guys have built. This conversation and writing this out is so important, you guys. So very important. There's probably more stuff that will come up in my head later on as I continue, like, because I have to still type mines out and so on and so forth. But it probably more stuff will come up, and share them with me. Share them with me on this video. And I love feedback. I love to, if I miss something, I needs to know. But you don't want to leave your family members at a loss. Like, what do you think they wanted? What do you think no, they will have it on paper, signed, legalized, and in place for you to just go and pick it up and do, excuse me, as your person asks. So until next time, I know this probably ruffled some feathers and made you guys start thinking, but it made you start thinking because this is important. This is the hard talk. And that's what I'm gonna call it. It is. And but hey, reality is reality. And we have to be ready for reality whenever it may hit. So you guys take the time out and just think about it. Yeah, I'm not telling you gotta write yours or whatever, but I'm telling you to think about it and know that it is something very important to have. Until next time.